Hi there, Matt Miller here again with Imperial Dade. Now comes the crucial part when you're done with cleaning your carpets and it's time to drain these tanks on the machine. Um, we'll go through that. So as Ron's showing you here, we got the machine backed right up to a floor sink. Now this tank on top, remember it's 8 gallons of dirty water. 8 gallons, that's about 64 pounds, so it can get pretty heavy. So again, the tank's elevated enough where you can drop this dump hose into a floor sink. So we're just going to pop the tab and then drop it down. As you can see, that water is like brown to black in color. So we know we're picking up plenty of stuff. And then what you want to do as that's draining is lift the lid on your tank. I'm going to tilt this back just slightly. Yeah, there's a lot of sand and stuff in there. And that water's just dark. Just black. So I'm going to take our clean water here, the hose, turn this on, and just rinse this tank out. This is a very important step. Keeps everything clean, and so this dirty water tank does not get really smelly that way. You get all this dirty stuff flushed out. That way there's a lot less bacteria sitting in this tank for the next person that has to use it. Yeah, just spray it around there in the nooks and crannies until your drain hose is draining pretty clear water. But there's a screen here right underneath your back motor area. You can rinse that off too. Okay, I'm going to shut this off. Just let that drain out the rest of the way. Oh, there's still a bunch of sand. Turn that light on. Flashlight. Yeah, take a look down in there, Ron. See that sand?
Yep.
So, yeah, that's a big deal. You want to really make sure you get all of that stuff out. But at this point, if it's easier, you know, the tank is about empty, so it's going to be light. We can actually pull this machine out now. I'm going to put the cap back on that tank. Pull the machine forward. I'm going to take this tank right off the machine. That way I can really tilt it back all the way and get that gravity to pull that sand out. And then hit it with your water again. Yeah, a lot more of it's coming out now. That sand, if you leave it on the bottom of the tank, it tends to harden up and kind of calcify over time and build a really hard crust at the bottom of your tank. So anyway, that's why it's important to get that stuff out of there. And there we go. We got a pretty clean tank now. Does that pass your inspection?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
All right. And so that's ready to go. And now, what I want to show you next, I'm just going to set this tank aside. Again, here's your solution tank with your clean water. But again, when you're done with this machine, you got to make sure we empty that tank too. And there's a little hose on the back right here. Ron can show you that clear hose. You just pull this off of this hose barb. Yeah, again, before you send this machine out into the cold on a truck to go to another location, we're going to want to drain the water out of the solution tank into a floor drain, like such. Again, that's just hot water in your solution tank. All we're using it for is to rinse that chemical out and rinse that carpet while we're agitating it with the brush. That way we leave very little chemical left in your carpet. So, put that back on the hose barb. Now if Ron and I were going to send this machine out, we would grab a gallon of this Splash windshield wash fluid. It basically has alcohol in it, and it keeps things from freezing. It's good to 20 below Fahrenheit. You dump maybe a quart to a half gallon into the solution tank, and then we'd plug the machine back in, turn the main power on, and then turn the spray jet pump on. And you'll hear when it starts sucking the fluid through. And keep an eye on the floor. You can do this over a hard floor and wait till you see that kind of blue tinted colored fluid start pumping out of your spray jet. Then you can immediately shut this off and shut your main power back off. That way that pump is protected for below freezing temps if you have to ship this thing out and it ends up sitting on a truck. Wait, I did forget one thing. Now we can get a better view because the tanks are empty. With this agitator brush on the bottom, you can grab it on this side, pull, and it'll pop right off. So you want to always store these upright. Again, if this needs some cleaning, you can hose it off in the sink. If you're doing some carpet that's kind of worn out, you might get some strings and stuff wrapped around this brush. You want to take a knife and cut those strings off and pull them off the brush. That way this thing never gets snagged up and bound up and stops, and put strain on your motor and blow a circuit breaker or something. And then the last thing too is your spray jets. There's two of them down here. They're just plastic. You can just turn them to the left, lefty loosey. They pop right off, and that's all they are. A lot of places in the state, in this area, we have a lot of mineral in our water, and this might build up over time with some mineral scale and clog up. You'll know it if you're not getting solution sprayed out on your carpets. So easiest thing to do, like I mentioned earlier, you soak them in some vinegar, which is a light 5% acid. That'll cut that scale off. Maybe just take a light toothbrush or something, agitate it a bit, and you're good to go. Rinse it off, pop it back in there and twist to the right. You'll feel it lock. You got these two notches in your brush on one side. Fits in this little brush shaft, and then this end, push it right back up in there, and you're good to go. It's a great idea before we send this out to hang a little tag on it saying, hey, this machine has been serviced with antifreeze, and to drain that alcohol-based antifreeze out of the machine before they use it on their carpets next. That way they don't adversely affect their carpets if this might affect color staining on the carpet or something like that. But just a good idea to let people know about that, to drain the solution tank, to turn the pump on, to pump that blue windshield wash back out of there. Then they can fill the tank back up with their hot water and tackle their carpet cleaning problem.
Now, how much of that splash did you put in there?
I'd say maybe the tank holds 8 gallons. I want to say maybe dump a quart or so, a quart of the windshield wash in there, and it'll work its way down into that pump. You turn it on, and that should be more than enough.
Okay, and do you need to drain that after you put that stuff in there?
Oh yeah, you'll definitely want to drain this, at
okay.
the next time you use it, so that doesn't mix with your hot water or your carpet cleaning chemical. So anyway, that about sums it up. Ron and Matt here signing off. Thanks for your time.